Yeah, Gaffer, 2-1 defeat against Tonbridge. Really hard one to take that.
Yeah, when you're on the receiving end of a late goal, then you can't really react because it's time's up. But it's more important we look at both halves, how we've played in the last month, in terms of how we attack teams, but also tactically be nice and organized behind the ball. And I thought we are Mr. United Football Club, and I thought we dropped our levels, especially in the first half, and we can't do that. In football, good teams, which we've been in the last month, maintain the same standards, the same levels in terms of off the ball and on the ball. Tactically, we've worked on how to expose their weaknesses, but for some reason, our intensity was really low in the first half. They weren't really run us in the areas that we wanted to run, and we just sort of let the game go by. And you can't waste 45 minutes in football. You can't. And then all of a sudden, we're going to go down. It's taking us to change things tactically. And then we started passing with real meaning, with purpose, less touches on the ball, more runs in the right areas, and we got a deserved equalizer. But again, it's about management, game management. Limited touches on the ball, and I think that's cost us a point today.
Yeah, and I think you look at obviously the winning goal, and that it's obviously shouts for a possible foul, but maybe disappointed that perhaps hasn't released the ball. Prior to that, obviously allows them to break away.
Yeah, we spoke about it. If there's one thing our players need to improve on, it's limited touches on the ball. You ain't got time. People will close you down. Opposition teams won't allow you. They up their levels. We said it. Every team that comes to play against Maidstone up their levels by 10-15%. They will close you down. So the ball moves quicker than the player. So you have to let that. That's how we got the goal. And again, I can't blame the officials because we dwell on the ball too much. However, part of the process is the learning curve for us. We got to dust ourselves up, look forward to the next game, and make sure we can pick the right team to go and compete away from home on Tuesday night.
And why do you sort of think that the levels dropped? So obviously in the Ken Derby, you'd think that it'd be very easy for the players to get up for it. Is it a psychological thing, or is it a bit of complacency for the last few weeks?
It's not complacency. We are humans. Sometimes we go a little bit, we shift a little bit away from from what is giving us success, and all of a sudden, our levels drop and we start doing uncharacteristic things. And again, we have to help the players, and they know the players are disappointed, but it's a long season. We ain't going to dwell on this result. Ain't going to make or break our season. However, I feel for our supporters because we left it in the last 10-15 minutes to give them a real game. And this is what we've been saying. It's not something that we've not highlighted. As a manager, I've highlighted that before we came out today throughout the week. We cannot lower our standards. We cannot lower our intensity. We can't lower our quality. It has to be there. It's a culture. It has to be there. And the disappointing part for me today is we've not gone out. The players have left 10% in their performance levels in the first half, and and they should be disappointed in that. However, we move on. We move on to the next game.
And it's a hard one as well, because I say to pick them up, but then you've got another Ken Derby on Tuesday against another team that the supporters would love to beat in Ebbsfleet. How do you sort of go about in picking up the emotional side of the game at the moment?
We got to start the recovery process now. We wanted to win this game for our supporters, and it's not happened. Our next game, I said it earlier on yesterday, and I've said it throughout the week. Last week, it's a derby, but you don't get 6 points. You get 3 points. And we have to make sure, we look after the players, discuss with the medical department and see what's the extent of, the injuries or the knocks that some of the players have taken. And, on Tuesday it's going to be tough, and we know we've got to be ready. We've got to roll our sleeves up and make sure, we try and help the players out. And the ones that haven't been playing, this is the moment I've been telling them, the squad to be utilized the best way I can. And, and we'll see who is available on Tuesday night and ready for a tough test away from home.
Well, thanks for your time, Gaffer. We'll catch you on Tuesday.
Thank you.